It's Sunday afternoon, maybe Sunday evening, maybe Sunday morning, depending on where in the world you're joining us. We are the Brunch Busters. I am one half of that team, Bobby Munson. The man beside me, my Brunch Buster brother, Chris Parrish. How you doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, sir?
I'm doing well. Really liking the nice hot weather now.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Damn time.
I know, long overdue. The sun is shining bright. It's great being able to get outdoors once again. I absolutely love this time of year and love spending my Sundays with all the great people that we have that tune in to Busting Out each and every Sunday. And of course, people like our good friend, the gold standard himself, Carl Carafel. 6 months on that sub. You got it, brother. Yeah, I'm keeping that sub streak alive right here. I guess I get to give myself a spin here this afternoon. Ricky, oh, that was terrible right there, but there we go. You get a spin every time you throw a sub our way. You know what? I'll even give one out if anyone gives us a brand new sub on YouTube today, because we're also streaming on YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube to Our Local Establishment, and you'll get Spin Sunday for subs. It doesn't matter which stream it is, Twitch or YouTube. We got you covered. So, Parrish,
let's make sure you're giving us that like button. If you're watching us on the YouTube, make sure you're clicking that like and share if you can. Give us that like and follow and all the good stuff. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to get everything good with Our Local Establishment.
Oh, and there's lots of good coming up this week, man. We'll be playing the calendar later on in the program, of course. But, man, we've got one big jam-packed week for you guys here at Our Local Establishment. And speaking of friends here at OLE, it's Bell Ball Collins. How are you doing, Mel? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in as well, too. Just talking about the big week we got here at OLE that's going down. But, again, before we go to the calendar later on in the program, you guys, if anyone ever wants to reach out to anybody here at Our Local Establishment, as you see the ticker down below, you can catch us on the Twitter, on the Twitch, on the YouTube, on the TikToks, on the Instagrams, all that beautiful stuff, Facebook in there. I'm sure some other ones. But you know what? You can also check us out through our email, and then you can check out our friends at Rogue Energy, rogueenergy.com, where you can use that promo code OLEPOTS for 10% off of your order. Oh, that seemed like a mouthful.
Well, I mean, it is time to grab some of that food. Make sure you're staying energized. Go to Rogue, drink some energizing greatness, as Mel. She's saying she's heading to the gym. What's a gime? I don't know.
Gime.
But
that's a gime.
But it's, you know what? It seems that's a great way to go into our first topic, because you go to the gime. Yeah, you go to the gime to kind of shake things up. You want to shake up your muscles, really, or you want to get some fit. But you know what? WWE is shaking things up with the draft. We've been draft happy on OLE all week, as we had a mock draft on Monday, right before Monday night.
Congrats on that, by the way.
On the watch along. Thank you. Wrestle Draft finally came back yesterday. We had an NFL draft, and then we started the WWE draft on SmackDown. As you see down there, SmackDown starts off the WWE draft. But what are some of the favorite draft moments that we have had in our lifetime? What would we like to see on Raw as it completes the draft tomorrow on Monday Night Raw?
I mean, I'll start off by saying, for favorite draft moments, I don't know. The first draft stands out like a sore thumb to me because it had never been done at the time. It was something different for WWE or pro wrestling in general. And I remember the splitting of partnerships that you weren't expecting. I think the original splitting of, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, with the idea of them going solo and going in different directions, really kind of shook things up in a completely different way. Splitting JBL and turning him into who he became, it was, out of left field, and kind of essentially what the draft is supposed to be all about, is taking those opportunities for more people to go in a different direction, shake things up, change it up. Whether or not that's the case here, I don't know how much shakeup this is going to do, whether it's going to be, a change in personality for anybody like that. I saw very minimal of what happened on Friday, so you might have to fill me in a little bit so I can get some thoughts on it. All I'm really aware of, I'm pretty sure, is Roman and Solo drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. Cody Rhodes over to Raw. Bianca Belair to SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. And I think after that, I'm at a loss.
Yeah, just a little recap for you. When it comes in order, SmackDown picks undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. WWE.com has that listed as the Bloodline, which is very interesting because later in that show, Sami Zayn tried to talk to the Usos and say, don't you think that's weird that you guys weren't included? But needless to say, Raw picks Cody Rhodes. SmackDown grabs Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, while Raw takes Becky Lynch. And I was surprised not to see Rhea. But the one thing that you got to think about is there were pools that each show had to draft from. So that makes things very interesting. SmackDown then takes the Street Profits in both Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, while Raw then takes the Intercontinental Champion Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, better known as Imperium. SmackDown brings with the rated R Superstar Edge, while Raw takes the original Bro Matt Riddle. SmackDown then takes Bobby Lashley, while Raw brings back Drew McIntyre. SmackDown then drafts the OC of AJ Styles, Mia Yim, a.k.a. Michin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, while Raw takes The Miz. SmackDown then takes all of Damage Control, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bayley. Raw takes Shinsuke Nakamura. SmackDown then dips in the NXT and takes their tag team champions on the women's side, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, while Raw takes the NXT Women's Champion, Indy Hartwell. And then we had the SmackDown Lowdown show where we saw Raw take Eric Ivar Van Halla, the Viking Raiders, Dexter Lumis, Candice LeRae, Massey and Mansois, and Maxine Dupree, Zoe Stark, JD McDonough, Apollo Crews, Natalia, Sonya Deville, and Chelsea Green. Or SmackDown takes Hit Row in BFAB, Ashante, The Adonis, and Top Dollar, and then Lacey Evans, leaving 3 free agents from that pool: Omos, Mustafa Ali, and Dolph Ziggler.
the reject pile. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, wow, that is something else. I really think that SmackDown lost pretty badly in this pool. Yeah, they got some good picks, but I mean, they picked Hit Row. Like, I'm sorry, but how desperate are you when you go for Hit Row? I think
Von
at that point
also a free agent. If anybody cares.
Oh, my boy Bong Wagner over there. I mean, no, the man lacking personality. But I don't know. Like, Mustafa Ali, at least I know he can do good in-ring work. I don't know why this guy continues to be the outcast, other than maybe him speaking up about not being happy in the company really didn't help his trajectory as a wrestler within the company. With him, at least I know I could get something like something interesting. At least the matches will be good. So I don't know why he continues to be a free agent. And who the hell wants Hit Row? I'm sorry, this has got to be, outside of Bray Wyatt, Triple H's worst return decision that he's made since being in charge of creative.
I'd come in and said Von Wagner won't get to come to Tuesday. His life is ruined. Well, I mean, I think our eyes were ruined the day we saw Von Wagner.
Well, I mean, Von Wagner could always.
If you're watching, you're a free agent, bud. You're a free agent.
maybe with him being
didn't even sign you in Wrestle Draft.
Maybe with him being a free agent, he could become all elite on Wednesday night when they need another random run out in the middle of a beatdown.
You never know. You just never know. But no, I mean, I like. There's a few things for me to like. I like to see AJ Styles back. That's always nice. A lot of people wanted to see Roman versus AJ during that time frame. Bubba Duke, what up? Thank you for coming in, saying hi. Appreciate you. Good job every Thursday night by the way. You're doing great. Keep
Yeah,
up the good work.
the extra big long stream from last Thursday there, dominating Thursday night. That was fantastic. Great, excellent job.
Yeah. But I mean, now we can finally see that AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns feud, and maybe we can see Solo Sikoa get involved with AJ Styles. I think that'd be a lot of just really interesting to see kind of that mixture of Solo, who I think has stepped up his game tremendously since coming up onto the main roster. But now we get to see him kind of mix it up with guys like AJ Styles or anyone in the OC. I'm very curious to see tomorrow where, the Judgment Day goes. We saw Bianca Belair go to SmackDown with the Raw Championship. And that'll be interesting to see if we see Rhea Ripley go to Raw, or does she also go to SmackDown? Who's to say what they're going to do with the championships now?
Here's the issue with that, though, because they'll go do something like that, and then they'll have a match set up for Night of Champions or whatever it is, and you'll guarantee one of the two belts is going back to Raw based on that. So you'll know that based on who's in there that we're having a new champion in some way, shape, or form, because they're not going to allow both belts to remain on the same brand.
Well, and then this kind of brings me to some of my favorite draft moments, because these are the situations that we did see sometimes. Sometimes both heavyweight champions were drafted to another to one show. I remember when Batista was drafted, I believe it was to SmackDown, and he had just been feuding with Edge over the World Heavyweight title. Edge, I think, was also going to SmackDown, but that left Raw without a champion. So I remember Batista, I think, beating up Edge, and that allowed CM Punk to cash in and take the title from Edge, leaving Raw with that World Heavyweight title. So it was kind of fun. Sometimes it made TV a little bit more fun just to see kind of those things pop up, because, again, like something like the Money in the Bank would allow you to kind of, get out of that cluster. But I have a feeling, and there are rumors going on, that Triple H is planning on renaming, resetting up, and resetting the titles as we know it. And it's just interesting, as we saw on Monday, the brand new World Heavyweight title that I know that you just love to get to.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah.
But I truly believe that Triple H is putting a stamp on resetting the WWE as we know it.
Now, here's something I want to bring up and ask you is when this is all said and done with the free agencies, I know that arguably they could be Raw or SmackDown, but does this open up some of the free agencies to a possibility of going to NXT? If we see people from NXT be taken from the Tuesday night show onto either Raw or SmackDown, could we see the opposing the free agents, say like a Mustafa Ali, head on over to NXT to mix things up over there as well too? I think that it would help, probably help with having some experience there in NXT when you're taking away some of their top people at the same time, at least while they continue to build some of the new faces.
I can say I would love to see a guy like Mustafa Ali go down and work a program with a Carmelo Hayes over the NXT title. I think that would be fantastic. Just think about the banger they could have, or think about like potentially a guy just coming out of the PC, ready to get that opportunity to become, a regular on the show. And then you have somebody as knowledgeable like Mustafa Ali. I don't know if anybody follows him on social media, but like some of his trading videos are just amazing. He shows that he clearly has technique inside that ring, and knowing that he's down in NXT for a little bit of time, helping and passing that advice on. I mean, when you think about it, like that's just adding more knowledge to these guys, and I'm jealous of some of the people that they get to teach from. I wish I had a couple of that. Oh, if Shawn Michaels wasn't good enough, you got guys like Robert Roode kind of helping out there. You got Albert, you got Steve Corino. Norman Smiley. Oh, and then all of a sudden you have, the Dolph Ziggler's, AJ Styles, the Apollo Crews, and maybe Mustafa Ali all coming down and just passing on knowledge. Yeah, that'd be pretty all right. But at the same time, it makes things fresh again. So I wouldn't hate it. And it gives them something to do.
What if Omos went to NXT? Ed, what do you think of that one, bud?
I mean, when you think about Veer and Ed, you're gonna have to help me on because I forget the other saying. Seeing a guy like Omos with those guys, whew, that would be a big boy group.
be quite the
That's a lot of material
on Tuesday nights.
But no, like I get giddy over drafts. I mean, I can show you the notebook I have just over the 4 I've done just with OLE, but I mean, I don't know. There's something about starting new and starting fresh that really makes me interested. We saw a lot of cluster with the WWE over the years, and now it seems like there's that honest attempt to kind of clean a lot of that stuff up. And whether you like some of the changes, whether you don't see, the fruits of the labor right away, that's one thing. But, man, I'm excited for what could be. Seeing JD McDonough on Raw, my God, I want to see what this kid can do because I think he is super underrated.
Yeah. My biggest beef with it right now, and I know we were talking about this before we went on, and I'll just say it, I don't understand the splitting of Cody and Roman, and I know that you're a little bit more on board with it, a little bit more on board with them waiting on this one, but I feel like splitting those two and putting Cody on the show that has the belt with no meaning, and I will get to that shortly when we talk about that belt, but I think it's counterproductive to the trajectory of Cody and what they were trying to do with him. The story of him kind of overcoming the odds and winning the title his daddy didn't get in the Garden and all that kind of stuff. That lineage is taken away. That story is taken away. Beating the guy who is the guy. Yeah. And I mean, it just, to me, that one stung a little bit. I didn't see the purpose of it. It's not the move I would have made. Again, it's their company. We'll see where it rolls. I'll always give things a chance, but just from my perspective, did not care for that particular move.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree because I think there's a lot of people that wanted to see that right away, with Cody Rhodes becoming that new champion, dethroning Roman. And I think eventually you'll still get that. It's still very possible. But I do like the hurdles that is in between Cody Rhodes. He had this amazing effort to get to Roman, came through the pec injury, went through the Royal Rumble, got to WrestleMania, had a match of his lifetime. That was one of his best performances I have ever seen from Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But he fell short. And then all of a sudden, just when he thinks, okay, rematch, I need to get those titles off you. Brock Lesnar stands in this way. And now we're seeing kind of these blocks put in front of him. And he just has to continuously fight through it. So I think by the time he does get to Roman, more people will get behind him at that point. So now we see a draft. That's another block, in his way. So I don't see it as a big concern. But I can understand if you just want to see Cody Rhodes be that guy right now.
Okay, but based on what you're saying too, and going with the long-term booking, then this will play perfectly into that new belt here, and we'll start talking about soon. You can't put the new belt on Cody. Period.
And you bring that up, we'll just go right into it. Triple H on Monday Night Raw does reveal the new World Heavyweight Championship, and right now, if you kind of look at the news boards or the rumor mill, Seth Rollins' name is heavily targeted as the front runner to becoming its first champion.
Yeah. So let's put Seth aside for a little bit in this conversation because we will talk about Seth and we can talk
The
about
floor
him
is
in
yours,
length
Bobby.
here,
I'm
too.
just gonna
Floor is
watch
yours.
the
All
show
right,
from
buckle
right
up, people. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I started going off a little bit on Thursday night, but I'm going to go off even more now. This new belt sucks, and this new belt sucks for a lot of damn reasons. First of all, we're going to start with the look of this belt. While it is not the worst thing that WWE has barfed up in the last couple of decades in terms of title designs, because Roman currently holds that prestige with that WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, along with the matching belts that go along with it all across the company right now that look like absolute garbage. The belt design itself is kind of a meh opportunity. This looks like sometime they were sitting there going, hey, let's take the spinner WWE Championship and melt it right into big gold, and voila, new belt. Here we go. Now, does it look ugly? No. Does it look good? No, because it's also very just familiar. This was a missed opportunity, and they missed the mark to do something really different, really cool, or a major throwback to something that wasn't just the big gold that Triple H had, had a hard on for all his career. So again, not a big fan of this design because it's too familiar. Now, what I don't like is the reveal. I really, really hate this because this is another made up belt. It adds another belt to the company that has too many belts as it is. We don't need 2 world champions. You dilute the importance of what a world championship means when you have multiple across the same damn company. And now you've made a world championship with 0 prestige. And in the process, you come out and you just dump all over your current champion, everything he's done over the last little while for you. The guy has gone out and busted his ass and become the biggest name since John Cena for this company, the biggest drawing name since John Cena for this company. Counterproductive to everything the fans thought about him only just a few years back. One good program, and suddenly he's drawn like an MFer over there. And you know what? You come out and in one shot, oh, he's now a part-timer. We're lumping him in with everything, including the Brock Lesnar's of the world, because he's worked this into his contract after busting his ass for all of these years and doing everything he can. And now we're just going to say, we don't have time for that. We need a fighting champion, so he doesn't matter anymore. New belt. Anyway, take it from there, Parrish.
Okay, so it sounds like you love the new belt as much as Ed loves Jay White. I've had a week to kind of look over and just see what my initial thoughts are over the look of this championship, because that's the first thing. When you reveal something, I'm looking at it just in its innocence. What does it look like first? The more I look at it, yes, the more I get the big gold vibes, 100%. I can guarantee that was probably the number one inspiration behind this championship. I don't like that. The reason why is because I'm pretty sure I'm watching WWE. WCW was the company I watched when I saw Big Gold. I can understand how many people love that title. But to me, it just seems like WWE overcame WCW only to say, yeah, but we like those things. I would have loved to see a more heritage type design that understood the history of WWE. I've always, and this is a Canadian saying, I've always pictured the WWE title with an American Eagle on it. It just always seemed that way. Whether you had the winged eagle, the big winged eagle, even on the Undisputed Championship, there was an eagle and a bird, at least wings, something like that. I'm aware that the U.S. title has that now. I think you should really think about redesigning that one. But to me, I just thought, okay, I like this better than the W, 100%. But now when I'm sticking on the W, why does it always have to be painted right in the middle like a freaking dumb neck tattoo? No offense, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst decision in Cody's life ever. I just want to, before we go, can I just touch on this for one quick minute? Bubba Duke, it's an interesting point, but keep in mind that that belt, the big gold, was the belt that the NWA 16 pounds of gold became when kind of they went over to Turner right as they were turning into WCW. So kind of in that fashion. And I would say that Cody more so has won the belt that his daddy had back in the day because his daddy was more synonymous with that NWA's 16 pounds of gold, or Sweet Charlotte as it's called. So Cody has actually had a run with that particular belt. Well, the more this story is based around is Dusty Rhodes in the Garden not winning the WWF championship back in the day. That was more of the story, and that lineage would be the belt that Roman currently holds, or one half of the belts that Roman currently holds, I guess. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right. And also, like, I don't like how, like, to me, the side plates just don't make sense. Right? Like, and trust me, I like the design. Like, when you actually look in the main plate, there's a lot of design in that title. And I like that because that's what I always thought about the like the titles that Roman had. They look incomplete just from a design standpoint. Is it the worst design? No. Is it their best? No. Does it take some time getting used to? Probably. It's going to be weird. I want to see it around the waist of somebody for the first time before I really say if I hate it or dislike it from a visual standpoint. I agree with what you said about how it was unveiled. I wish it was said differently.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I'm going to say this. If Roman Reigns does not get a new title with the current title of the WWE Universal Undisputed Champion, whatever they're calling him, and he doesn't get a new championship title, just one, I don't understand why this company would have a WWE champion, a Universal champion, and then now a World Heavyweight champion.
And let's talk about that for a minute too, because you said the key point of undisputed, because it is disputed now. That's the thing. You got 3 world championships. It's freaking disputed. You've got a new belt you just added. So now you disputed your own undisputed world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, and like to me, it just, I think they have to simplify what he is. I understand Roman is currently going to be the Universal Champion for 1,000 days. And I understand that. I think maybe on day 1,000, just retire it. Let him simply just be the WWE champion. Just retire the Universal Championship on day 1,000. And then I think I'll be okay with the 2 titles.
Just call it. It's the WWE Heavyweight Championship. That's all it is. Like they can amalgamate it. They can leave the lineage of the Universal into it, but the WWE Championship is what holds the prestige and the lineage of the first place, or at least it did once until they kept disputing it. But you know that's where the lineage is, and that's where it needs to go. They can't forget about it. If they just focus on the Universal portion of it, it's almost like you're erasing the fact that this was once one of the most prestigious world championships in all of professional wrestling. And it's almost like it's a forgotten thing when you start to not only dilute it, but then start to take away the name that carries that lineage with it.
Yeah. And, it is being rumored that is not the only title that's getting, whether it's a redesign or whatnot. There is speculation, and I'll just say speculation because there's no evidence to prove it. But the rumors are that the tag titles will get redesigned. Thank God. It's been rumored for a while that NXT are going to have redesigned championships. I think that was long-term coming ever since the 2.0 brand was moved.
Their belts aren't the worst though. I've seen worse. NXTs aren't awful.
Oh no! But I think it's just they changed the main the main women's and championship title with that splattered paint, those multicolors. They added those colors in the title. Clearly now that's not part of their brand, so I think they want to be, you got to update it once in a while too. But also the women's titles are, I think, believed to be redesigned as well, which I think
goodness.
is a good thing. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see, kind of those steps, what they do, and I still want to kind of just throw out that I remember when Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon unveiled the Universal title for the first time, how much flack that championship got right from day one. And now we have a champion who's going to have it for 1,000 days. So just give this World Heavyweight title some time and allow the champions to breathe with it, because I think in about 3 years we're going to be looking at this title in a completely different way than we are right now.
But based on that, though, too, it takes bringing in a new world championship and putting it on multiple people and then sticking it with a program that finally works to make anybody care. But they only care because what they keep bringing up about the run as champion is comparable to the likes of, your Bruno Sammartinos, your Pedro Moraleses, your Hulk Hogan's, your Bob Backlunds and stuff like that. Like, it starts to become these multi-year runs. And it took that. How often does this modern era of wrestling fans, and the WWE for that matter, have in them to invest that kind of time and investment into another world champion?
Oh, the society nowadays has no time to find out what they're going to do in 30 minutes, let alone 3 to 5 years. I mean, I think we can easily say that. But
now the only other thing is
pro wrestling needs.
Okay, now the only other way to wake this thing up, though, would be to put it on somebody that's a very, very skilled professional wrestler, somebody that's going to be out there, and they have to be defending it, and they have to be defending it a lot. And I'm not just talking about, like, normally I would be all on board with the World Championship being a premium live event pay-per-view caliber matchup that they should save for that. But I think this is the time where if you want that championship to have prestige, it becomes something that's defended against the obvious people that aren't going to overthrow the champion. So if you're going to have a championship match on a Monday Night Raw, this is your time to bring out somebody who's, a mid-carder, somebody that's going to go out there and put on a quality matchup with your champion where you can have a couple moments like, ooh, oh, did they almost get him kind of thing. But in the back of your mind, as a smart fan, you're going to go, yeah, of course they're not going to, the title was not going to change hands. No shit. But, it's an opportunity. If you really want to bring any sort of level of prestige to it, you need a fighting champion, as they're telling us. That's the problem. They're telling us something, whether they deliver on it is another. We can't just have it, and I hate to say this, you talk about Seth Rollins being the first guy. Seth Rollins is a great guy to watch in ring. I'll watch Seth Rollins in ring any day of the week. He puts on quality matchups. I really enjoy it. Seth Rollins on a microphone can go to hell. I do not need to see another run of Seth Rollins coming out, eating up 30 to 40 minutes of TV time where he does that fake, annoying laugh that just makes me, it's not like I want to slap him in the face because he's an annoying heel. I want to slap him in the face because it feels forced. And I want him to smarten up and do something that's actually believable. And because that's not believable. Seth Rollins can talk. I'm not taking that away, but every bit of his shtick feels forced and it feels scripted so far. If he can get away from that and get a little bit more realistic about it and get in the ring and do what he does in the ring, because he's a damn near perfectionist in ring right now. If he could do that more often, I could get behind a believable Seth Rollins fighting championship run.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about champions that need to be active, I think Seth Rollins does fit the bill on that. I think a Finn Balor fits the bill. Imagine if Gunther becomes that first champion. Just think about the believability on this now. And I'm very interested to see now.
Oh, I don't know if it's me who's frozen or if it's Parachute's frozen. Hold on. One of us glitched out there. I'm not sure who. Just for a second, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. I I had both at top at one point.
Fair enough.
So
But
really hard for me to
difficulties,
say.
but we're back.
But yeah, no, I mean, it'd be interesting to see kind of Gunther's imprint on Monday Night Raw now with his new championship. He has slowly became one of the, if not the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. In my opinion.
And you know what?
I think it's time for him to take it to the next step now.
Yeah, and 100% agree with you on his Intercontinental title run, but I think that's where I want to see that run continue for a little while. I think that it's been so fantastic and brought so much prestige to the Intercontinental title that in some ways, that's the other problem with this new World Championship is that it's not on the same level as the Intercontinental title because of what Gunther has done for it. And I don't know if putting a new title around him is necessarily the right factor. I mean, maybe, but I almost feel like you need a little bit more. And I don't want to say Gunther isn't a name status, but in terms of general public, Gunther's not at a name status yet. And I think to get him at a name status, he has to have that big marquee money match against a Roman Reigns or somebody like that he could fight against. And I always pictured it as if you were going to have Gunther be the guy to dethrone Roman, which obviously won't be the case now with them split like this. He had to be the guy that started bragging about how he's the only one in the company that was able to bring prestige back to a championship and prove that a belt could be run for that long. And that's when you bring in a Roman. I mean, arguably you could have done it with Roman going after the IC belt if he was out of the title picture, had they put the belt on Cody in the first place. Roman coming out and saying, excuse me, but you think you're the only guy that brought prestige back to a belt around this company? And I think that you could have gone from there. Just my thoughts on it personally. But again, going through with any belt works for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you want to talk about prestige to a title, WWE does have 3 champions with very long reigns. I mean, Bianca Belair and that Raw Women's title has been quite a long reign as well. But the one thing I think we're seeing is that these reigns are establishing, pun intended, these superstars to become creators, and they're being made stars in their own company with the tools that WWE has. Because as of right now, the only champion that they've had that has really knocked boots with any people from the past has been Roman Reigns. To an extent, Bianca Belair, but Gunther has been doing it with the current day roster. And I think that speaks volumes to his capabilities. Now, if you put a world title in his grasp and you take that title to, say, Puerto Rico, where is the home of Backlash? Maybe like a Saudi Arabia or whatever, and you get to see Gunther as the top guy in that top company for WWE as a champion, perception is going to be huge moving forward. Sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah, and I think the perception's huge anyway because Gunther's just a freaking star. Let's face it. This guy has got all the tools he needs. He's killer inside the ring. He has an aura about him that screams top level main event quality wrestler. His look, everything, having the Imperium with him, it just all adds to the aura that has got him to where he is so far today, and why that we would even be sitting here having the conversation about a potential to see Gunther as a world heavyweight champion is Turnbuckle Studios, Carl Carofel, the gold standard, saying Gunther all belts, hashtag, get that hashtag trending. Like, seriously, I'm 100%, I don't care. Gunther for gold right there.
I feel Gauntlet and Gunther. There's room there for a pun.
The Gunther Gauntlet. Oh, that sounds tasty.
Gunther for gold. But no, I mean, we're talking about like a group who, the more I see and the more I am absolutely blown away with Ludwig Kaiser, and I think that guy is primed for an amazing singles push. I know a lot of people are talking about Montez Ford being, I can't wait to see him. I'm telling you, people, Ludwig Kaiser, that is going to be a name that you're going to want to talk about in, oh, he needs to face this guy. He needs to face that guy. Trust me on that one. That guy is somebody to watch out for as well. But yeah, no, I'm just curious because the one thing I'm seeing from my WWE programming a little bit that I'm not seeing in AEW is a little bit of understanding that we have to change where the needle's placed. And I think there's that. We understand that the fans want this, and we're listening. I feel WWE now listens to its fans a lot more than they ever have. And I kind of think that's a great thing. I love the NXT involvement. We're getting some of the names there now being called up. We're seeing some of the championships get redesigned. We're getting people's first names back.
Let's just say, and
Pete Dunne is going to be back on the main roster too. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
No, it's all good. I was just going to say, all I hope in the long run is this isn't just putting lipstick on a pig, because that's what it has been at previous times where it's like, hey, if we shake it up, then we'll be all good and everyone will be okay again. And it's not always the case. If you're going to do this, you got to commit to it. You got to commit to these championships. You got to make them mean something. And if you're going to just flip flop and in 3 months not care about it, the fans won't care either. And it's going to be a detriment to this entire thing.
Bobby, you say commitment. We have an immense amount of people watching this show committing their time to watching us here at Busting Out. I think it's time for us to commit to our audience what they can find in our local establishment this coming week. So
I like that.
Take a look, everyone.
That's what we got coming up for you guys this week. What a jam-packed week we've got here at OLE Parish, man. Shows just about every single day, including, like, we might not have listed it there, but Wednesday night, I know that there's going to be the release of the this Saturday's Wrestle Draft that you and Ed Fries did. Yeah, as Carl's saying, a jam-packed week indeed. And Carl, thank you not only for the suggestion of adding the show logos to the weekly calendar, but also the times as well too. Very important that people know at least an approximate time when these shows are going to be airing and what various different channels they are, because some of them are exclusive to certain different programming as well too. I know that you guys are doing the Wrestle Draft. It seems to be a bit more of a Twitch exclusive for the live programming, but a YouTube afterplay as well too. I know that for myself, the Bravado is going to be more of a YouTube short, kind of a TikTok type thing. And they're amazing. Yeah. How's it going? Been a while. Glad to see you.
How are you? Very happy to see you. How you been? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this is awesome.
But no, just to clarify for the people about the Wrestle Draft, we are a Twitch show. However, we will be premiering past shows on Wednesdays on YouTube. So check out our YouTube page during the day on Wednesday. As you will see, if you missed it on Twitch, you'll be able to find it on YouTube as well. Everything we do will eventually be on YouTube at some point, but yes, all the first viewings will go to Twitch, but then YouTube will scatter them all up.
Yeah, and again, and keep in mind too, like programs like Melball's Mix that airs on a Friday is actually through our social, so you'll be able to find Melball's Mix all over both Instagram and TikTok. But you're also going to be able to find that. Hopefully, maybe we'll start pushing that as a YouTube short video as well too. So a lot of great things that you can check out on our social media or on our YouTube and Twitch channels. We always appreciate the likes, the follows, the subscribes that you guys all do for us. It really helps push things here because we have more than just the wrestling stuff here. I mean, we're jam-packed with the wrestling programs here on OLE, but we got some great shows that fall outside of that. We got things that talk about paranormal stuff. So we got Paramindful on the show. We've got Marvel Talk coming up this Sunday, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review that's coming out. I've got the Bravado. I've got Killer Cuts coming up. We have a new edition of Love Your Health coming out in May. Like just jam-packed full of stuff that's not just always wrestling related. But now we've added video gaming. We got the Boar's Nest on Thursday night that joins us there for the Thursday night shows. The boys doing a great, fantastic job with that. And everything too. I'm happy to see so many great personalities putting out so many great programs here on the channel, Parrish.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, we're getting a lot of stuff when you get to hear that music on loop.
Yes,
during that video.
It's not cut short no more.
No, and then that's a good problem to have. It's always good to have that, and that just shows that there is, as you were talking about earlier.
Oh, this isn't even hopefully there, Carl. Not hopefully. This is a for sure thing. Not only will Carl Carafel and I be coming back with a season 3 of Beats and Beatdowns, we need to talk very soon, sir. But we've also got a new show in the works that look out for this summer. We have a planned release date for it because it actually happens to land 25 years after the release of a specific album that month, and it's one that Carl and I are basing the first. We're basing the whole first episode on that particular band. So more to come for you guys on that. You'll see some cool release trailers coming out prior to that show hitting the airs. It's going to be fantastic. Love working with the gold standard, Carl Carafel, and that's going to be a fantastic show because, rock on, brother.
It sounds like you're glowing.
I love doing this stuff. It's fun. I like just being here with people.
And that brings us to our next topic, because we're not the only people glowing. The Impact Zone is also glowing. As first we saw Nick Aldis, now Trinity, the former Glow Queen of WWE, has made their Impact Wrestling returns and now debuts. My question is, has Impact secretly stepped out and truly emerged as the number 3 option for professional wrestlers? Because it wasn't always the case, but I feel that is a true place people do want to go to now.
And you know what? From what I've seen and what I know of Impact Wrestling, and again, if you want a better breakdown of Impact Wrestling, join Asher Pizarro and Cody Defoe on Thursday nights, and often joined by our own OLED as well too, for making an impact. They got all the Impact talk, but from what I've seen of it, what I know of it and stuff like that, why does it seem like a third great option for professional wrestlers nowadays? Because when you have a look at the landscape of AEW, WWE, they've got packed rosters full of people, a lot of them not even being used, and that becomes a worry for somebody. You might currently be a big name option, and you might come in very, very hot into one of those companies, but it could be a couple months later and you could be finding yourself in obscurity, not doing anything. So for someone like a Nick Aldis, I don't know that WWE or AEW would have fit his style and his way of presenting himself. So I think it's a fantastic move for him. With Trinity, hey, they have a wonderful women's division. And if she really wants to step outside that WWE bubble and prove herself out there, I think that Impact is a phenomenal choice for her to go to. I think Impact has done an amazing job with making wrestlers want to be there and making the audiences that pay attention to Impact Wrestling want to continue to tune in week after week. You be quiet.
And you know what? And cats seem to like it too. So I mean, it just shows
apparently.
that it's a great decision. And but no, I mean, in all seriousness, this is a great thing for not only Trinity but Impact Wrestling. It was a great move because it's very easy to go back to what you know. It's very easy to understand what brought you to the dance and continue and be comfortable. What this has shown is that Trinity now is someone who cares about being a professional wrestler and going somewhere and creating a path on her own merit. And I really admire that because, again, her husband, her family, they all work in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The unknown is going somewhere else. So it's very interesting to see what she does, how long she goes there, and knowing that the writing could be on the wall for certain people in Impact, like perhaps a Mickey James, the wife of Nick Aldis. We don't know how long she has left. I mean, who's to say? So if they're going to lose a great like that, that means the spot has opened up for someone that could be a prime opportunity for Trinity. I'm not going to compare the two in any way. That's just not right. But Trinity could become a face of a company, even if maybe that company's not WWE. And that's a good thing for her.
Yes, for sure. And, there's a lot of great other options. Like it kind of reminds me of political systems when it comes down to professional wrestling right now. People seem to have it in their minds that the big options, A and B, are always the only two options that you have out there. But, do not fret, my friends. There are alternative options to the common everyday options that you see out there, whether it be politics or professional wrestling. And there is a lot of third-party candidates that are perfect for you as a professional wrestler, whether it be Impact Wrestling, whether it be New Japan Pro Wrestling, depending on your style, of course, or just anything over Japan in general. Our good friends Andre and Melball can tell you all about New Japan and all the Japanese professional wrestling. But, your MLWs, your Impact Wrestlings, anything like that, I believe really hold another alternative option for professional wrestlers that want to take their careers in a specific direction. So I kind of hold all those companies in high regard, especially being a fan of third option wrestling myself too. I prefer watching it, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but
breaking news, somebody reported.
It's awesome when the two of us are on the same thinking pattern as each other. Breaking news, you say?
yeah, I just got confirmation that the captain of the Bumae Fight Club, the Mohawk master of the suplex, Alex Kane, is going to be joining Busting Out on May 21st.
Blow my A to that. Holy shit. Here we go. Fight Club captain in the house on a Sunday afternoon. It's going to be awesome. Breaking news. Yes, that's the Brunch Buster way. Breaking news.
The winner of Battle Riot 5 in MLW, Alex Kane, will be joining us in the bus station May 21st. Yeah. Breaking news. You're amazing.
Huge. Mind blown. You know what? Yeah, I know that my Thursday night show isn't exactly one to break news and stuff like that, but do you mind if I just steal a Brunch Buster moment here for a second about this coming Thursday?
Please.
Breaking news, somebody reported.
So right at the same moment that you're confirming Alex Kane for May the 21st, I actually just got confirmation that this Thursday night, joining myself and Papa Smokes on Ring Respect Radio, is the returning Almighty Sheik, Joseph Samael, this Thursday night on Ring Respect Radio, the owner of PCW Ultra, the former leader of Contra, and the best friend of Jacob Fatu, tag team champions known as War Beast. Going to be joining myself and Papa Smokes for a second round of discussing professional wrestling this Thursday night.
I mean, we told you that we have things coming this week. Wow, like this is big. This is big stuff. I'm excited. We just wanted to take that time to just thank both Alex Kane and Mr. Sam I Am to. I know that's I like saying Sam I Am. I don't know why. Every time I hear that name, I just say Sam I Am. It's great. But no, in all seriousness, we just say thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you taking that opportunity to join us. We definitely look forward to it. Very exciting stuff. But we are talking about Impact, and let's give them that true time of the day, because I don't know how much Impact you do watch, but that is a great product over there. Steve Macklin becoming their new champion. Deonna Purrazzo becoming the new women's champion at their last PLE or pay-per-view. And just an amazing stuff. Like you said that making the Impact every Thursday with Astrid and Cody. Sometimes that, but if you haven't had an opportunity, go to their YouTube. For $1, you can subscribe and watch their show. It's $1 a month. Such a good bargain. But
the price of a cup of coffee per day.
Yeah, seeing Nick Aldis back, thank you. Because I know you said like you can see him in WWE. The more you think about it, you're right. Like it just didn't make sense. I was wondering if that was going to be the case, that he wanted at some point to go there, because you saw with AJ Styles how good of a decision going to WWE later in your career was. But man, I'm just happy that we're seeing people choose somewhere else other than WWE, other than AEW. Wrestling talk is real, and you don't always have to talk about the big two, despite this show doing so.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's what's great about Impact is they're putting on a quality wrestling program that for everybody who doesn't. I mean, a lot of people tune into it that love both AEW and WWE, and I'm not harping on either one of those companies. I watch what I want to watch, whether it be WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW, ROH, New Japan. If there's something that I want to watch that intrigues me personally, I'll watch that particular matchup, or I'll watch X amount of the card that I want to watch. I like doing that. I like supporting what I enjoy, and I don't like crapping all over wrestling. I know sometimes that I get on a bit of a rant, like earlier with that title, but again, I'm still going to watch and give it a chance, because that's what I'm about. I'll give it an opportunity. When I see something I like, I'm going to tell you guys, hey, I effing love this, because that's what I'm about. And I really have been impressed with Impact Wrestling. I don't watch it as much as I should, but it's more of a time constraint thing. With doing a lot of the stuff that I do on the sides, I don't always have time to sit down and watch as much wrestling as I would love to, but I am trying to fit in some of these ones, especially when I hear great things from people like Astrid and Cody about what's going on over there, and just a lot of the great talent that they have, how they pivoted with having Gresham go out from injury after having a great run with the championship, pivoted and went with somebody else new. Now it's time to build that new face as the champion, and they're doing a fantastic job of it.
Well, and that's just it. Like sometimes when you are forced to make a decision, you have to commit to that decision and just ride it and see what happens. It might allow you to try something new out in that process, and it just opens your eyes like, oh my God, like that actually is a good idea. I feel like I should have done that earlier. And that's exactly what happens a lot of times in professional wrestling. I know just by working with Prairie Pro Wrestling, you guys have been in that situation a few times. But what an amazing opportunity it is for Steve Macklin to get that opportunity. And we're seeing that, he gets a chance now to headline a show, whether it's with Nick Aldis, whether it's with other people who now have that opportunity to, instead being the guy that's challenging Josh Alexander, they're getting an opportunity to hold their own in their own spotlight. And that just means their stocks are going to rise because of it.
Yeah, 100%. And again, then they become more in demand when the big two start looking for opportunities to bring people in. You start to see that these stars that are being created in the third options, that becomes the people that these companies are seeking after. You know, like they're salivating at the opportunity to sign, you know, your Hammerstones, your Fatus, your Macklins, your Greshams, your Donna Perrazzos, and everything like that. But again, they continue to say, no, I'm happy doing what I'm doing with the companies I'm working for at the moment, and we'll let you know when we're ready for you, kind of thing. And it's nice that they have that opportunity to be happy in their career, do what they want to do, and decide when they want to have those conversations with the other two, if they choose to do that.
So I think this kind of puts out the question. If by chance, let's just say Roman Reigns gets hurt, has to vacate the championships, and you have to commit the next 1,000 days to someone new. Say Alexander Hammerstone is injured. You have to give the champion. Actually, we know this. He's coming on our show May 21. But, you know, take the champions away right now and say, okay, do I have that suitable replacement? If not, who are we taking? Let's go down the list. If it's WWE, who would be your guy that's not Roman Reigns? Yes, it's easy to say Gunther, in my opinion. But if you had to choose somebody new, who are you going with?
But it's hard to say Gunther because they're not on the same damn show now. So it's a little bit more difficult.
No, but I'm just saying from a general sense.
Because that would be obvious.
I'm just saying from
you know, a returning Randy Orton is always an easy option to put any belt on if you're looking for somebody in the immediate that's got the name status. I don't know. You know, you talked about Seth Rollins earlier with the other belt. He's always in prime position. Nobody's going to complain. To me, AJ Styles is always a great fallback. Always a great fallback. You know what, Carl? I want that to be something that works because I love LA Knight. I'll let you push the button there. I love LA Knight. Yeah. But I don't know that they've put LA Knight in any kind of a position right now to be that guy. And that's the problem there. I would love to see it. Absolutely love him. Loved his work as Eli Drake even. But I don't know that he's in that position for that. You need somebody with name status to take it over in the immediate kind of thing. And I think that's where the problem is who immediately, and you've got to go with somebody that has been a former champion, somebody who can take it over. You know, if he would have still been on that streak of being the top guy and stuff like that, that would have been a time to pull the trigger with a Sami Zayn. But, you know, it's softened on that front currently. I mean, not to say people don't still love the shit out of Sami Zayn. I'm just saying, I don't know if Sami as the champion is what they need at the moment.
Yeah. See, and this is why it's if we can't really clearly answer it here, I mean, imagine how difficult this decision can be with the executives there too. And you're talking LA Knight. I would hope to heavens he is the one that takes that United States title off Austin Theory. So if LA Knight stays on SmackDown, I would love to see that. But yeah, I mean, Finn Balor could be a guy too, depending if you want consistency.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But for the next 1,000 days, that's a commitment, right? And that just shows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have to go like say an AEW side, and after an MJF is the one who gets hurt, whew, somebody new on that one. Oh my.
I'm sorry, but at the moment, like, do you have anybody? I hate on me AEW fans. I don't think anybody's in that position. As much as you might love certain people over there, they don't have anybody that's on that level at the moment, especially when it comes to somebody new. I mean, you could flop it to a Jericho. You could always flop it to a Moxley. I'm not a fan of Moxley as champion. I guess there's Omega. They've put him in that position before, but none of it stands out as somebody who really hits the mark for me personally, like an MJF does.
No, and I don't think they have somebody as complete as MJF on their roster.
No.
I think if you want somebody that can battle him on the mic, Adam Cole is definitely one of your guys. If you want someone to go tit for tat in the ring, Bryan Danielson is one of your guys. But if you want that complete package, it's going to be hard because I would love to see a guy like Pac be that guy. But for 1,000 days, I don't know if he can. And that's, to me, that just shows you how special of a performer anyone is when they can hold a championship for not only 1,000 days, but also think about how much money Roman Reigns' title has made that company 3 consecutive billion-dollar years.
Yeah.
More
and it's the
than
same.
anybody in history.
Yeah, and it's the same with Hammerstone. Again, like it became to a point where it's like, who can put the win over Hammerstone? Who has that ability to be the next guy? And when they started building towards Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu Part 2, there was the question, like, it could be Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is always primed in position to be a champion over there. But he came up short. They still ran with Hammer as champion, which is fine too, because Hammer has been doing fantastic over there. And it was great to finally see an opportunity between the two of them where Hammer didn't break his leg halfway through the matchup and have to carry on with a broken freaking leg to finish it off. But him and Kane is a big money matchup. And that's what's going to be great about having the leader of the Beaumaye Fight Club here with us on a Sunday. He is such high energy. We had a blast having him on Fusion, myself and Papa Smokes. We said it then too, like, this is a guy who has gone from like 0 to 100 overnight. When he first was talked about coming into, I think it was Battle Riot 3, where they first announced that Alex Kane was going to be joining the company. And he came in, the Suplex Assassin, made a big splash within that night, became the never openweight champion, but the national openweight champion very shortly afterwards, having some great matchups there that ended with Davey Richards ended up taking it off of him. But from there, he carried on his whole he stole the Opera Cup storyline. He went into a feud with the Bulldogs, including Davey Boy Smith Jr., which essentially accumulated in the Battle Riot 5, where he actually choked out Davey Boy Smith and made him tap to him right in the center of the ring to finish that matchup off in order to win. So now you've primed an Alex Kane in a position where he is an actual threat to Alexander Hammerstone and that championship, especially with his entourage, with Mr. Thomas in the corner. All those X factors there are primed for a run with Alex Kane at the top. And we're talking about a guy that, he barely broke the PWI 500 best singles wrestlers in the country in his first year there. In his second year, which would have been last year, he actually broke into the top 100. He was 84, if I'm not mistaken. Again, if he makes the win over Alexander Hammerstone and becomes the guy in MLW, we're going to be talking about a guy that might end up breaking the top 50 this time around with the PWI. And he's a guy to watch. So at least MLW, in a way, have been working towards it. They're priming guys ready for that opportunity. I mean, they still have the reliance of a Davey Boy Smith Jr. if Alex Kane was unable to fulfill it, got hurt. Not trying to wish that out into the world at all. That's not going to happen. But on that what if sort of moment, toss out to Ed there, hey, what if? If that was to happen, you still have Davey Boy Smith Jr., a former MLW World Heavyweight Championship that could take the reins easily if they needed to as well too. So I think they've primed themselves very, very well, just like Impact has. A lot of those third options, they're in a position where they have got people ready that they would put as the champion. And I think that's why it's worked so well for Impact, why it could work for MLW. I think New Japan, if we were to ask our resident experts here, they would tell you all sorts of names that are in that position ready to take those reins as well too.
Yeah. And again, like, just such a hard question to really answer, because there's a lot of guys, I think, and girls that we would love to see as our champion for 1,000 days. I think there's a lot of people we just like to see as champion in general. But to understand the value of 1,000 days, I mean, that's a completely different mountain to climb. But yeah,
some of us don't stay working for the same company for that many days.
Right. I mean, how many guys in professional sports even get to play on a team for 1,000 days? It's not always.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So,
you got that right.
But yeah. So that is, I mean, that's all I had for the topics at hand. Is there an open forum now in chat? Anything you guys want to add or chip in, or we're going to put it out to that audience right now. Is there anything that you guys have on the minds right now.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime and in between time, I know Roderick Strong showed up on AEW to everybody's surprise this week to come out in what could have been an interesting moment, trying to recreate the Undisputed Era. Okay, I get it. They're friends. I get it. The only thing I didn't like about this is just like it's a beatdown that then leads to guys' music being played and the entrances. And once again, why does wrestling feel the need to do entrances for people coming to save someone getting a beatdown? Like, I almost want to make like a short film of people getting their ass kicked in the streets, like a bunch of thugs just like curb stomping someone on the street, and some guy just like shows up, throws down an old beatbox down on the ground, and hits play and just starts dancing towards this group of people before ninja kicking their asses or something like that. Like, it is so Leslie Nielsen spoof comedy when you do stuff like that it becomes almost a parody of professional wrestling in a sense. If your buddy is getting his ass kicked, you don't dance your way to the save. You get your ass in there and make the save already. Tires for retirement. Rock on, Carl. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so like, what were you more shocked to see, Roderick Strong in AEW or CM Punk backstage at Monday Night Raw? I mean, when we really want to think of
Roddy Strong in AEW, just because he was still listed as a WWE guy when you guys did the mock draft on Monday night, and Tom picked his ass. That's the funniest part. 2 days later, he shows up on AEW. I mean, geez, Ed could have picked it. If that's the way things were going to work, Ed could have just picked Jay White after all in that draft on Monday night.
Oh man, I have to be honest. The amount of arguments afterwards, how upset Ed was for not being able to pick Jay White, could not begin to tell you. Oh, I mean, he tried so hard to create him in the 2K game just so he could pick him for the Wrestle Draft. And I'm like, Ed, we got to do current superstars. We'll just let the generator make the enhancement talents, but let's not import. Man, he was livid. I can't begin to tell you guys how much of a damage control I had to do before the show got started because Jay White, never would have thought.
Oh,
up in arms.
So this is like the busting balls section of busting out here. Just like throwing things up. New segment on the show, busting balls with the Brunch Busters.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think the writing was on the wall for Roderick Strong leaving to go somewhere else for a while.
Yeah, of course it was.
He had asked for his release like how long ago?
Well, when you're just sitting on the sidelines, what do you expect?
Well, I mean, he was hurt for a good chunk of that time, but I think too, like, there's just, in that good old creative has nothing for you kind of thing. It's like, and when that creative is NXT, that's usually where you go when creative doesn't have anything for you. So if you're somebody like Roderick Strong, you kind of want to just go somewhere else. So I'm not. Let's just say my system was not shocked to see Roderick Strong help out Adam Cole on Dynamite, but at the same time, do I want to see Undisputed Era on Rampage? No, I don't want to see the same thing. I didn't want to see the NWO and WWE either. It was a WCW juggernaut that it imploded because it was too much. I was okay with it. You took it away from me on WWE NXT. I don't need it to be brought back to me in AEW. Do something different. Choose your own narrative and don't steal ideas away. I get it. Everyone does it. But my God, Tony Khan, be better.
It's not tough in this day and age to be a little bit better than that. But, the biggest shock for me is that, and a lot, hate me for this if you guys love them, but I don't see this working. And I don't see it working because the reason it didn't work in the first place is Roddy Strong just doesn't fit the mold of these companies. His style lends more to competitive, catch as catch can shoot wrestling more than anything like this. This guy is, I think, built more for a New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's built more for an Impact Wrestling. Something along those lines, I think, are more suited to what Roderick Strong brings to the table. And I can't imagine that AEW is going to have much more creatively once this fizzles out after a few weeks, in my personal opinion. And rock on, it's Papa Smokes. How you doing, brother? But yeah, I don't see Roddy thriving in AEW any more than he thrived over in NXT, for that matter. I think that this will last as long as this, little alliance lasts, and then take it from there. I don't think Roderick Strong fits what AEW does 99% of the time, and I think that he would have been better suited for an Impact Wrestling or a New Japan, like I said.
Yeah. And the one thing I can think is, like, if they brought him in simply to be on the Ring of Honor side, that is something that's being heavily talked about, is potentially having that brand split in half so they can go forward with a Ring of Honor programming. The only problem is you're only making shows for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's still AEW, even though it's branded as Ring of Honor. It's not going to quite have the feel. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong and make Ring of Honor feel like it used to feel. Then fantastic. That would be great. Yeah, Darren Mason saying hello to Papa Smokes.
It almost feels like the AEW Ring of Honor separate, or like what they're trying to do. It's almost like WWE's version of ECW.
Yeah.
Like Tony Khan's version of Ring of Honor. Like I kind of have those vibes going. Like I really want to see these things prosper, but at the same time, like, they see all these. I see this AEW gets this reality show going in depth to people's lives. We got Collision, whatever that's going to be. We got this going. We got that going. But it's like, okay, but where is the things for Ring of Honor? The longer that this doesn't happen, the more I think, what's that? Remember when Cody was a champion? I think it was for this company. I think Harry Smith had a championship. Is for like Jeff Jarrett's like Global Force Wrestling, I want to say.
GFW.
That was something that was supposed to take off too. Like right now, it's like, yeah, like, okay, like what's, I don't know. I just don't understand what they're doing with Ring of Honor right now. Are you actually going to make it a show? Are you going to make it a brand? Please do something, because I don't want to see every third match on my screen a title match just because, Claudio needs to defend his title now.
Well, and that's the thing. And like, I'm pretty sure that they worked out something where Honor Club is going to have ROH programming, and that they've actually done some of the tapings, which is fine. But again, it doesn't have that same feel. And then, like you're saying, then they're using the AEW platform, which again, does AEW need 3 television shows? Why could they not have coughed up one of those nights for an ROH programming to be taken care of? Do you really need Collision and Rampage? You could have really just taken away Rampage and made that ROH Rampage. Like, I mean, Friday nights would have been a lot more interesting. It would have been a wrestling heavy program that was ROH based. I would have been more inclined to tune in, to be honest with you, as opposed to a third AEW program throughout the week.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, and it's no different from saying, oh, well, we can just take away a third hour on Monday Night Raw and make that something else too. Like, trust me, I get it. Those brands can do something a lot better to help out the talent that they have. But I don't know. Maybe this is just a company who decided we need more talent than we need, and oh crap, we don't have enough TV for them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I told you this week, I think that Raw could take away an hour and give it dedicated 100% to the women's division. But that's just me. I have all sorts of wacky ideas about way wrestling could go, and I'm probably not even on par with what should actually happen. Again, I don't proclaim to know everything. In fact, if I knew everything, I'd freaking retire. If I'm always learning, always figuring things out as I go. And, One day I'll even figure out how to press these buttons on these streams. It'll be fantastic. The immaculate stream, we'll call it.
You know, I don't want you to get too ahead of yourself here. I think that is, I believe in you. I have your back.
I appreciate that.
But no, I think on that note, unless there's anything else, I mean, I don't know, but like I know we're kind of wrapping up right now. I think it's getting into that raid time, I believe.
I think raid time sounds about the right time. Who are we thinking today? You got anybody in particular in mind, or do we want to help out somebody who's got a smaller amount of viewers, and maybe we could boost them up a little bit here this morning, make them a little extra happy?
Yeah, I think maybe I'm just kind of looking at. Is there anybody that you have right now on your side of things? As I will take
on my particular side. You know, nobody in particular that we don't have on the OLE side as well, too. I'm looking at the OLE list and thinking like maybe like an A. Jones 8806 or a Richard FTZ. Yeah. Somebody like that we can, really brighten their Sunday afternoon by throwing you guys over their way, give the OLE treatment.
I do have an idea for you before we go there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have a DBS pod playing MLB The Show 23, and in honor of the Boar's Nest, where you can see OMD and Bubba Duke play that, perhaps we send some love over there and maybe allow them to connect.
I like the sounds of that, Parrish, and I think that's a phenomenal idea. So how about I'm going to get you to gear that up, get the raid ready for them, and in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to start off by telling the people that you're going to be able to find me at the ticker below. That is all my socials and where you're going to be able to check me out. But again, I've got a lot going on this week in a big capacity. Of course, I've got Thursday nights with Papa Smokes. It just confirmed Joseph Samael going to be joining us in a live capacity. So join us for that. Get your questions in. Talk all things professional wrestling with ourselves at Joseph Samael. Friday, I got a brand new edition of the Bravado coming at you guys. I'm going to be listening to and reviewing the new Smashing Pumpkins Atom rock opera in 3 parts. And then, of course, sir, I'm sure in some capacity Saturday, I'll be part of the Backlash review show. And, of course, Sunday, you'll be able to catch me here again on Bustin' Out. Darren Mason saying, thanks, guys. We really appreciate you, Darren Mason. Thank you for tuning into the show and supporting OLE. Very happy to have you back on here with us on a Sunday. Thank you very much. Parrish, where can the good people find yourself?
Yeah, you can find me right here at, no, that's my address. But on my Twitter at Chris Parrish, my Instagram at chris.parrish. You can follow me on my YouTube at Chris Parrish, and then on my Twitch at the Chris Parrish. But I mean, follow everything we have in OLE. And just so everyone knows, you've now been rated to the DBS pod because it doesn't matter about me.
And you can also reach out to everybody here at our local establishment, checking out that ticker below. Of course, Parrish, from yourself, myself, the Brunch Busters here on a Sunday, we wish you all a wonderful week. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. And until next Sunday, in the meantime and in between time, you've been busted.
Open